Most people know and understand triangulation in chess. I will show you this amazing study, and the key to this study is actually triangulation. Now, the simplest form of triangulation and the one most often used in textbooks is this. So it's white to move and win, and he can only win by using triangulation. So he plays king d5, black plays king c8. So now the problem is, white wants to play this, but whenever he does, black will play this, and he has the opposition. If white plays the king here, where it was, black will play here, and he has the opposition and white can't enter. But white has two squares to play around with here to get to d5. So that's the key. He can actually triangulate. He plays king c4, black plays king d8. If he plays king c7, we know that we come here, we get the opposition, and now we go king d4, king back to c8, and now king d5. And now it's actually black to move. And now he's actually in trouble, because if he goes here, we land here, and if he goes here, we land here, and we win. As is easily verifiable, we get the opposition, push the pawn, make a queen. So that's the easiest triangulation. Now this study by Checkhover, actually, it's very fascinating. Now here the pawns are trying to promote. The white has this bind, the queen and the rook are threatening this pawn. So that means that this bishop actually can't move. If the bishop moves, it's checkmate. This knight, it only takes away this square, so the queen can't actually move back and forth here. If it goes away, we move the bishop and make a queen. So white can only move the king, and black can only move the knight. But the problem is, if we move towards the knight and try to win it and promote our pawn, we will find out that the knight will block us. Here, he's blocking us, can't advance. Let's try to go the other way. Here, again, knight here, and he's blocking us. Why is he blocking us? Well, because the bishop prevents us from going to any of these light squares. In fact, going back to the starting position, after king b2, any of these light squares are unavailable, because this diagonal is controlled by the bishop. And from these squares, all of these light squares are unavailable to the white king, because he will get checked. All of them, except one. This one. And that's the key to the study. So when we try to approach, let's try that again. When we moved the king forward, he was always blocking us. We try to go the other way, he blocked us. We try to go back. Here, he's blocking us. Let's go e3, he goes back. And on knight f7, and again, he's blocking us. There's no way through on the dark squares. And another key thing is, if we can only move on the dark squares, that means that it takes us an even number of moves to get here. Even number of moves to get here. Same here. It takes us an even number of moves to get to all of these squares. So we need to break that cycle, because if we get to these squares in an even number of moves, the knight, who can't really break its path, it can't lose the tempo, it goes light square, black square, it's going to block us, because it only needs these two squares to block us. So the key is to triangulate, so we go to a3, and we go towards the corner on a8. And there, we simply triangulate. King a8, king b8, and king a7. So now we took an odd number of moves, and we broke the cycle. So now we can just go back. And now if it was our move, we can't get access to these squares, but it's black to move. We broke the cycle with the triangulation, and now we enter the position, we trap the knight. And we actually don't take the knight, because remember, it's going to be check, and they promote to a queen. But we queen our pawn, and now it's actually black who's in zugzwang. He can only move the knight, we take it, he can only move the bishop, and we checkmate. A long study, but a beautiful way to demonstrate the power of triangulation.